Everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. What a crazy day. It was even more interesting. I was in meetings all day, like looking at quotes, which made it fairly fascinating. So, couple interesting tidbits I want to point out about today. First of all, we have a very clean uptrend line here that has yet to be broken. We did kind of break this wedge a little bit to the upside, which is fascinating. About, let's call it right there. But at this point, that's a pretty nasty reversal candle. And what does that entail, as we go into the rest of the week? And as we look at the S&P futures here, you can see we're just kind of right on that cusp. And so tomorrow's gonna be a very important day. Typically the Friday after FOMC is when the guns come out blazing. Okay, like what's really gonna happen is gonna happen. So in a market like this, when it's like, oh my gosh, it's not really obvious what the markets are going to do, what do you do? All right, so the first thing you do is you alter your changing style for a little bit lower risk, meaning that you're looking more at selling premium, okay, and high probability opportunities. In this case, on Amazon, we had a setup, sell the 1030 puts, buy the 525s as protection, sell the 515 puts, buy the 510s as protection, and netted $2,400 today. We could close it out today at this point. We got one more day of expiration. Gonna see if we can get out a little bit more premium on that trade. Another very solid setup that popped up was on Under Armour, okay? And you can see here we sold the $100 puts, sold the $102 puts, bought the $100 calls further out because I'm actually expecting more upside from this regardless of what the market does, okay? And that's the critical part here. But we also sold the $20 calls, okay, with the hope that they expire worthless. Now we closed at 104 today, so it'll be close tomorrow. I hope those expire worthless because I want to hold on to those. But again, nice, even though it was a crazy day, nice little profit there. And last but not least, SRPT. This came up on one of the key scans that I'm going to be talking about on Saturday. This one, you can see, beautiful, beautiful move today. And when this flagged as an opportunity, we picked up some stock shares, okay? And I picked up some shares just because it's a lower price stock, but also the $35 calls, and you can see so far so good. And I was very comfortable holding on to these, even with all the crazy volatility that we saw today in the markets. So while the markets were a little insane, you can see Amazon was nice and steady, okay? It didn't come off that much. Well, there's a reason for that, okay? Under Armour, same thing. Nice and steady. It didn't come off that much. Okay. Well, there's a reason for that. Okay. Other stocks, had a little bit more of a volatile day. We can take a look at, say, Goldman Sachs. Okay. A little bit more volatile day. Baidu. Little bit more of a, kind of a quiet day. Whereas, Amazon and Under Armour were super strong, right? And what about SRPT? Again, this stock could care less what the Fed is doing, okay? And in this kind of environment, those are the kind of stocks that you want exposure to. And then at some point when we get back to a normal environment, and for a normal environment, I always look at Apple, okay? Apple is more of a normal environment stock, so goes the market, so goes Apple, or maybe it's vice versa. And at this point, it's still looking like this thing may want to roll over, but we don't know that for sure, and we don't know when it would happen, okay? So while we're waiting for that to happen, we switch to a checklist of tried and true setups that work in any market condition. So part of it is some of the tools that we use, okay? And this is a new tool that I've never introduced before. It's something we've been working on for a while, but something like if you get a squeeze combined with these green dots, it's essentially saying that, hey, this is potentially gonna have a lot more power than normal. This has been an amazing way to get in front of these bigger moves that aren't going to care about the markets. So there's a couple of things on this, is that you gotta have the right scans, okay? You gotta have the right scans. We have gone through and set up 2 scans specifically for the upcoming Saturday class that are included for people that get one of the packages. But at the same time too, we've completely added a ton of new things to this. Very, very excited about this, but what happens is this saves tons of time, and then the indicators that we're releasing help you measure the intensity of the potential setup. Okay, this is a game changer because a setup is a setup, but if you can measure the intensity of the setup, suddenly your position sizing becomes a much more important and much more integral part of your trading. All right, so where can you find out more about this? If you want to participate in this game-changing event, simpleroptions.com/formula. We're going to have a class on Saturday that essentially shows you all the setups, okay, and talks about position sizing in terms of like, hey, on this kind of a setup, you're going to want to do 10 contracts, but on this setup, you're only going to do 1 contract, and on this one, you might step it up to 20, okay? So we're going to have a checklist for that. That's this upcoming Saturday from 2 to 6. If you scroll down here, if you want to look, there's a ton of bullets. I don't need to go into all of them here. It's just that it's going to show you all the different setups and all the different strategies for doing that. If you want to up your game, okay, this is kind of like reading a book on golf. This is spending time 3 days with a golf coach, myself. For $9.97, we're going to do a 3-day online trading mentorship. This includes for free the indicators and the scan, okay, and that includes the Saturday class. All right, and then if you want the total package, there's a couple of spots left for our live Vegas event. Okay, this is just a private event. We don't record it. What I say, what is said between myself and a private audience, it should remain private. There's some things I don't want to get recorded, but this would include the 3-day class and this. Okay, so if you're looking at this and going like, wow, that really sounds interesting, what should I do? This to me is the best choice all around. This is the absolute no-brainer. And you want to try this, and then if you like it, potentially upgrade to that, that's fine. This is going to give you the tools to navigate these markets. I promise you they are changing, and I've seen this happen before, and if you keep doing the same thing you've been doing, it's going to be frustrating, but if you take these tweaks and tools, it can just completely change your trading, which obviously can have a big impact on your life. Okay, so I'm completely looking forward to this, and looking forward to working with you guys on Saturday.